Hello there, and welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Jacob, and thank you so much for attending this lecture on Pokemon biology. Joining me here in the classroom today is, of course, my wonderful teaching assistant, Mr. Curtis. Mr. Curtis, how are you today?
Oh, man. Whew, I was getting a little stiff. Whew, I haven't been sitting here for the last couple weeks. But
yes.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be here in class, Professor. I told you I wouldn't move a muscle, and I have not. I've been sitting here the entire time.
Wait, what about the? I mean, I'm loath to ask this, but what about your spin rack?
Well, the colony back home is fine, and they're self-sufficient. The 200 to 300 that have been living here with me in the Johto region, they're the ones that have been bringing me food and water. They made like a little assembly line. It goes all the way back to where I've been living at the shack. So they bring me some food, some water, a bucket to go to the bathroom in, and maybe like a good book. So see, look, here comes one now. See?
Oh, wow, look, yeah.
Aw. Thank you.
Oh, I brought some juice for you.
Yeah, see?
That's nice.
Very tasty.
Now,
let me just get a quick
couple
little...
of things. Jeez.
Thank you, sweetie. You can go back to the shack now.
Couple of things. First of all, you called it the shack. Now, are you naming it after the Jigglypuff that we set loose in the SCLC?
No. The shack is just the shed shack that they have let me living at the nursery that's just south of town. The
just
one
so
that's
happens to have
affiliated
the
with my
same
uncle.
name.
It is a shack. I'm living in a shack.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you would call it. So
shed, house, I suppose.
Small house with
house.
single walls in one room.
Question number 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't move a muscle, how were you eating or drinking?
Well, I mean, I didn't move from that spot. I mean, I did have to.
All right. Methinks thou doth protest too much.
Well, I didn't leave. I didn't leave the desk. Okay. I mean, I had to chew with my mouth, and
had to.
So interesting.
I mean, suck it through a straw. Sure. All right. Whatever.
Okay. Well, also joining us here in the classroom today is the reason for the season, our young trainer in training, Corbin. Corbin, if you could please say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. It is great to be here. As of today, I am officially 3 weeks sober from rapping. Thank you.
Wow. So you went the entire... what was it? A rehabilitation camp? Is that what it was?
It was a rehabilitation center. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
You went that entire time without rapping once.
I got a little bit of rapping in on the car ride there. And then when I got there, the second I tried to rap, they just slapped me right across the face and they said, "Hey, now is not the time or place."
That's right.
So that's what happened. And ever since that night, they have throttled the artistic, poetic being that I am. Mm-hmm. So don't expect good poems from here on out anymore. Because
I never do.
You expect a certain quality from me, not Mr. Kirk.
I'll give you some pointers if you want.
No, please no. But I'm feeling good mentally and spiritually. I feel like I'm in a better place. The rapping was taking up a lot of my mind and my headspace. Now I have more time for studies and other extracurricular or academic things.
He's slipping. He's slipping a little bit.
I'm not slipping. I've just I feel change, and I feel like there's more headspace for things that matter, like work, in school, and the responsibilities of being a man.
That's right.
Oh, well, you're still 10 years old, so
it's a lot to think about now at this age. Better start.
That's fair. It's never too early to start. Well, we are back. We are glad to be back. We've certainly been I've just been kind of like wandering around my house this time. I didn't really know what to do. Maybe I should have been preparing for class, but regardless, I'm happy to be back. I'm sure my students are happy to be back as well.
Thrilled, Professor.
I can hear it in your voice. Mr. Curtis was too thrilled to even speak.
I'm foaming at the mouth over here. I don't know if
he was just smiling really, really big. You guys couldn't see him, but he was smiling really big.
Yeah, you might have heard his lips creaking with the grin. Yeah, he's so happy.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Please stop.
before we get into this lesson, I do have a couple of Gengar mails that I would like to read, if you would indulge me.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
What are my fans saying this week?
Well, we're about to find out. The first Gengar mail comes to us from, I don't think this is the real name, but I'm going to use the name they gave me, which is, they say, "Hi, I'm Spinnerack to you."
Okay, well, who are you to me, though?
Oh, well, it's the number 2 and then the letter U, so Spinnerack to you.
Ah, yes, a
is the
gamer
name.
tag. A fellow gamer.
It could be their name. You don't know.
Eh.
You don't. But they say, "Hi, I'm Spinnerack to you. I have listened to every lecture, and with the knowledge I get from them, I find all of the Pokemon you talk about and take pictures of them." Really? All of them?
Really?
All of them?
All of them? Because
Wow.
we had to go through some harrowing events to see a couple of those Pokemon.
That's right.
Some of
Yep.
them, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, send pictures if you got them. We'd love to see them.
I would love to, please.
Anyways, they go on to say, "Mr. Curtis, I have a proposition for you. Would you
Sure.
like to join my Spinnerack cult?"
Spinnerack?
No.
Yes.
No.
What?
They say, "I have already sent a pin with a Spinnerack on it to where you're staying. I hope you accept, because I forged that out of only my strongest Spinnerack's exoskeletons."
Oh, no, not another one.
Sounds like
Oh.
you got competition here, Mr. Curtis.
Wow. Yeah. No. I'll have to go and look at that. I wonder if it was sent to my old house, because I mean, I certainly, if I got another Spinnerack piece of Spinnerack art, I would have to put it right, here in my backpack. If you see, I did have to patch it after Gunk chewed a big hole in it this last time.
It just adds character.
I've got some nice Spinnerack pins and buttons here, and one big Ariados looking patch. It's very cool.
Yeah,
but-
you
but
can
yeah.
hear Mr. Curtis coming from a mile away.
Oh, yeah.
It's just all clinking and clanging.
Yes, so I'd love the pin. I'm sorry about I don't know about this cult though. I mean, I do worship the perfect form of the Spinnerack in a sense, but there's only one a lord that I can ever pledge my allegiance to, and that is of course the Night Mother.
Yeah,
Huh.
Curtis is
was kinda-
monotheistic, okay?
Half expecting it to be me, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
well, I mean, the
You're a
professor,
false prophet.
your professor, it's it's your number 2. We got the Night Mother, and then we got the professor here. So
Yeah, I'll add that to my list of accomplishments. Number 2.
You're number 2.
number 2 to the Night Mother.
All right, so that is a declining. Mr. Curtis is declining to join the Spinnerack cult, unfortunately. Sorry, there's Spinnerack to you.
But you're more than welcome to join the cult of the Night Mother. Hey, we're all encompassing, and we do from time to time take over some other cults.
What's happened?
So-
What happened? What did you do?
Whoa.
So if you do want
Like a
to,
hostile takeover?
if you do want to come and join the true religion of the Night Mother, then please.
Let's not have a religious warfare on our hands. This isn't the time or the place for that. That's for after class.
There's actually not one over such a silly thing as Spinneracks.
Yeah, let's not start a bug crusade, okay?
All right, they say, "And Corbin, I have sent one of my weaker Spinneracks to you because I have no need for it."
Oh, yeah, I got that in the mail. It was actually dead. It was so weak that it was dead. So thanks for mailing me a dead Spinnerack.
Did they
Appreciate
put
that.
holes in the box for it to breathe?
Now that I'm thinking about it, yes, they did.
Oh, good. Okay, that's
I
good.
think it was dead before it got into the box.
Oh, well, yeah. I guess that would make it a weaker Spinnerack.
Exactly. I think he was playing some sort of sick joke. And, oh, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, he did have a note there underneath the dead body that said, "Nothing's weaker than dead."
Smile.
Yep, basically.
All right, the Gengar mail continues with, "And Professor Jacob, for you, I've got you a brand new lab coat because the old one has been through a lot. For example, Charizard
Same.
bursting through the roof and the Kangaskhan stampede. Does one Pokemon really count as the stampede? Doesn't the stampede have to be multiple?
It's got to be at least 1.5.
It's what would you call the Kangaskhan incident, Professor?
I mean,
A terrorist
the Kangaskhan
attack.
incident. Yeah, I mean the earthquake, the
Rampage.
Rampage.
That's a good
Yes,
word.
that's a very good word. Yeah, the
Yes.
Kangaskhan Rampage.
No, to no one in particular's fault. Just Kangaskhan just went crazy. Really not,
Yeah, it was your
sure,
fault.
Uh-huh.
It was your fault,
nobody's fault,
100%.
sure. So I love the lab coat. Although it does have a giant embroidered spinner rack on the back of it, and
I love it even more now.
You see, I'm not ready to commit myself to any kind of cult, let alone a spinner rack cult. So I'm not. Plus I like this lab coat that I like the character it gets from each lesson.
Can I wear it, Professor?
Well, I've told you, once you've earned your lab coat, then you can wear a lab coat, but you can't.
Oh,
You
but
haven't earned
it's
it
got
yet.
a big spinner rack on it.
You'll never earn it, loser.
Wow. Okay.
Well, we don't know about that. They go on to say, if you see Professor Palm, I sent a report about why Alola isn't as great as the Pokedex entries he writes says it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I haven't heard from Professor Palm recently, but if I do see him, I'll pass it on. And the Gengar Mail says, if you ever see Team Rocket Grunt Ryan, here is some Spinnerack jerky, because I know he likes Slowpoke Tail. But I think he would like it, and Mr. Curtis, feel free to have some. So
Yeah, I haven't seen him since before the war.
The what?
The war. I haven't seen Team Rocket Grunt Ryan since before the war.
The Team Rocket War?
No, the Crusade War that Mr. Curtis just started with this guy.
Okay. There's a lot of people you haven't seen since that war.
I know, because it just started.
Yeah, because it did just a couple minutes ago just started. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Do you want some Spinnerack jerky, Mr. Curtis?
Oh, I mean, sure, I'll try some.
Wookie, you're gonna eat a part of the cult that you're a part of. You're gonna eat the Pokemon.
Why are you acting like it's in front of you? He gave it to Ryan, not Mr. Curtis.
No, he said he gave us the Spinnerack jerky. Okay, apparently Corbin was not listening.
I was not paying attention.
If you ever see Team Rocket Grunt Ryan, there is some Spinnerack jerky, because I know he likes Slowpoke Tail, but I think he would like it, and Mr. Curtis, feel free to have some.
Well, that doesn't mean that he has it right in front. Oh, it is right in front of you.
Yeah, it's right
Look at
here.
that.
I have
okay.
it.
Oh, all right.
Open
Sorry
your
about
eyes.
that.
I mean, these are inferior, his Spinnerack cult Spinnerack. So like,
I guess it's true, and you've definitely made it clear.
consume their flesh to gain their power.
Yes, exactly.
And to
That's normal.
to make theirs
Yeah.
make me stronger than their Spinneracks.
That is a already defined.
Unless he poisoned them.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to put me in the hands of the Night Mother.
Do you think that Spinnerack to you would try to poison a potential additional member of their cult? I don't know.
That's
I don't
right.
think so.
He knew he would say no, so he poisoned it anyway.
Wow,
That's what I would have done.
They are 4 moves ahead of us.
4 moves.
Well,
They're
just
already playing the
remind me
next
never to
game.
join your Spinnerack cult.
They've won this game of chess, and they've moved on to the second game of chess. Anyways, the Gengar mail finishes with, and I don't really know what else to say, so bye.
Bye.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, and like, you could have just ended it with that. You could have just ended it with bye. But yeah, so thank you so much, Spinnerack, to you, Mr. Curtis. What are we thinking here? We're thinking Gold Star.
Yeah. I mean, I have to love another lover of the Spinnerack. Can't give him discredit for that. His heart's in the right place, even though his execution is a little off. So I will definitely give him a Gold Star. And I do like that sculpture that they sent you, Corbin. It's very pretty. And
it's okay. I mean,
we could put
it
in the put it on a shelf, maybe here in the classroom. What do you think, Professor?
There's no sculpture. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, do you mean the dead Spinnerack that he sent?
Yeah, I don't know why he called it a sculpture.
Yeah,
I mean,
the sculpture of a dead Spinnerack. Sure.
It's a dead sculpture of what was once a live Spinnerack.
Well, it's obviously it's made out of webbing. Can't you see here?
Well, I thought Spinneracks cover themselves in webs when they die.
No, it's just made out
maybe
of
that's so it okay, all right. So it's a webbing sculpture of a dead Spinnerack, because that's what
that
you
makes
call
more
a Spinnerack
sense.
when they
Okay.
die, right? It's not a corpse, it's a webbing sculpture.
Gotcha.
All right, well, thank you, Spinnerack, to you for the wonderful Gmail. Let's move on to the next one. It comes to us from a Dorian. So, they say, Dear Mr. Jacob. Now, listen.
Well, hold on now.
Some sass right there.
Listen, I am a professor, I guess, and you are taking my class, so let's have the correct honorifics.
Yeah, you better get your verbs and words straight.
Verbs, yeah, sure.
Titles.
Yeah.
Titles.
Yeah.
Respect.
It's Professor Jacob.
Yeah.
Please continue with these amazing classes. I have listened to every single one so far and believe that if the school ever stops giving you funding, you could start producing those t-shirts as a fundraiser. And I know for a fact I'd buy at least 15 to 20 or so.
I'm going to hold you to that, Dorian.
Yeah, we're going to hold. This is a binding contract.
If we do a merch store and you don't buy yourself, because I'll see the receipts.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal them from the office. If I
there's
see that there are not 20, there's anything less than 15 shirts purchased by you, call the police.
That's right. I'm revoking your license to class.
That's right.
You'll have to take it all over again from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Anyways, they continue on with, also, if you're not going to give Corbin zinc, at least let it be out for the classes as a class pet. I believe that it would very much boost his morale and make him pay even more attention to class, knowing that Zinc is standing there counting on him.
Here.
I mean, I don't know if I believe that. I feel like he would just be more distracted.
You know what would be a better classroom pet?
No,
that would motivate people even more.
I'd never come back.
Decidui. Is it Decidui? I get to guess Decidui now.
Well, no, I was going to say myself and I. My two Spinneracks.
Oh, well, it rhymes. So
that's right.
They could sit here in the class, and one could sit on my desk, one could sit on Corbin's desk. We could pet them absentmindedly and bring pleasure.
Who gets myself and who gets I?
Well, I get I. I have a very close relationship, and it's very deep, and I is
but not
just
myself. Myself, you're just not feeling it.
Yeah, that's
you're just not feeling myself. Just not feeling myself.
I mean, I'm good with. I'm very close to myself as well, but myself is more comfortable with strangers. I's a little bit more shy.
Right.
So myself can go over and sit with Corbin, and provide him a little bit of positive encouragement.
Right.
And why I kicks it with me.
Right.
But who's on first? Anyways, so Dorian goes on to say, another reason why I don't believe that Zinc should be in a Pokeball is that I don't really think any Pokemon should be trapped and confined into a small space, especially if it's one of those cheap Pokeballs.
Hey. It was billions of dollars that went into the Pokemon Research Society, okay? Also, a lot of people died.
A lot of people died to make this Pokeball science happen, all right? So respect them.
Yeah, let's show some respect.
And I think we all know
and I agree.
Pokemon.
I agree. I've seen other people comment and say that Corbin, that's me, should have Zinc and Zinc should be back. I got people in my corner. They're rooting and tooting for me, and I think that's a great idea. I think Zinc would be awesome to have again. The first Pokemon that has been in my house. That's not a Mr. Mime for a long time.
Oh, he doesn't even... See, he's starting to not recognize Mr. Mime as a Pokemon. He's starting to recognize him as his father, as he should be.
No. Okay, no. No father.
So Zinc is very, very happy back in the Kanto region. Of course, they are with Mr. Curtis's uncle, I believe.
Yes, up region.
Above, north of Cerulean City, in his... farm up there. So yes. Zinc is very happy.
Kicking it with my uncle's stud Raticate.
That's right.
Yeah. Dougie or something? I can't remember.
Dougie.
But yeah, so we're gonna leave Zinc where he's happiest. And see if we can keep Corbin's focus as best as possible.
What's up?
Exactly. So Dorian says, in conclusion, keep making these amazing classes, and I'm up for the t-shirt idea. And at the very least, let Zinc be a class pet if you're not going to give them to him now, because as you may know, their lifespan goes by in a zap.
Nice.
Yeah, Zinc might already be dead.
So you don't even know.
Don't say that.
We don't know.
No, don't say that, please.
We know.
Don't say that.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Dorian, for the Gengar mail. Mr.
you.
Curtis, Gold Star.
Yeah, I have to give him a gold star.
The mention of Zinc alone
No.
Purple Heart, some would say.
He did plead his case pretty well. Now I was a little disappointed that there wasn't a lot of discussing of how great Spinneracks are. Or
Mr. Curtis, I'm worried that you're really starting to push a lot of the emails that we get from students to be towards Spinnerack related things. And, I feel like students should be encouraged to send anything they want.
And not right. Now you're skewing it so that everybody just talks about Spinneracks because you want to get on your good side because for some reason people like you. So
of course, Professor. That's why I'm still giving this individual here a gold star. Great job.
Okay, great. So yeah, thank you so much for all of the wonderful Gengar mails. Don't forget, by the way, if there's a Pokemon that's coming up that you really enjoy or really want to talk about, feel free to send us an essay and we will read it for the specific Pokemon.
That's right.
At least we'll do our best. If we get too many for one specific Pokemon, we'll have to. I think we'll have to limit it to 2, potentially.
But just make sure you give enough a warning ahead of time, enough leeway.
Yeah.
So
I get these lesson plans done at least 3 weeks in advance. So definitely do it before then.
Yep.
All right. Well. With that taken care of, I think it's time to talk about the Pokemon of the week. Does anybody know who that is?
Caesar.
Well, I mean, of course, it's got to be
good guess,
Decidueye,
but wrong,
Professor.
and bad guess, and also wrong, Mr. Curtis. So it's not Caesar.
This is Larvitar, right? It's a cool one.
It is a cool one.
It is.
I guess.
Okay.
I think all Pokemon are.
I said
cool.
Larvitar.
Is it
except
a bug
for
type?
Spinarak. It's not.
Heracross. Heracross.
No, it's not a bug type. It's not a bug type. It's a normal type.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it? Munchlax?
No, I'm glad you know that Munchlax's a normal type, though. We have a little ways to go before we talk about Munchlax, which is kind of weird considering we already talked about its evolved form.
Doesn't make any sense.
Which is Snorlax. But, that's just how the National Pokedex is set up.
This is
one more guess from each of you.
Zangoose.
No. Mr. Curtis?
Normal type.
Grookey.
I was going to say, people will lose their mind if you get it right. It's not... Did you say Croaky?
He said Grookey. Yeah. That's not a Pokemon, dummy.
I think he mixed Froakie and Grookey.
Yes.
So it's not a combination of 2 Pokemon. That would be insane.
That would be a plot twist.
But as the Pokedex entries become less and less, we might have to start doing some crazy stuff. So thanks for the idea, Mr. Curtis.
Thank you.
No, we are learning about Sentret today.
Who?
Oh.
Sentret.
Which one's that one?
Well, it's also known as the Scout Pokemon.
Sentry. Yes, I remember. Mm-hmm.
No,
the Scout one. Yeah.
Okay, no, Corbin still doesn't know. So I'm guessing you haven't seen a Sentret then, Corbin. This is amazing. Normally you at least know of the Pokemon that we're talking about.
I don't. It doesn't ring a bell. You'll have to throw this thing out. We'll have to look at this thing.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, here is Sentret.
Oh, okay.
Ta-da.
Yeah, I see them on the way to class all the time.
Yeah, you just never thought to ask what their name was. You never listened to them saying their name. Over and over
they
again.
usually just grunt. I don't see this whole time. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I thought this was just a really weird looking Rattata.
This was a Rattata.
Yeah. Rattata. I thought it was a really weird looking Rattata.
Rattata,
I thought it was a variant here in the Johto region, but this is a whole Pokemon of it in and of itself. Okay.
Okay. Well, then. Okay.
But it's not the same color of a Rattata and a longer tail.
Yeah, I don't think this looks anything like a Rattata.
Well, could have fooled me when it was running around and scampering in the grass.
Okay, but okay. So it has a tail, sure. It's got it's not on its 4 legs, right? It's bipedal.
Well, kind of. It looks like it's unipedal.
Well, right now it's not standing on any of its legs.
Right now it's just standing on its big old tail.
Yes. Okay. You know what? That's a good point. Corbin, describe this Pokemon, please.
It is long. It looks like a slinky with a balloon at the top. It's got these long brown ears, a pink inside. It's got kind of a round body with a big old cream, like little circle thing on its belly.
Okay.
And it doesn't really have much of hands. Nothing in the way of arms. They're more just giant little nubs and tiny
Giant little nubs.
Giant little nubs.
And
I said
little
what
nubs?
I said. Well, the nubs are little. The arm part is giant. So it's very easy to follow. I don't know what you're talking about. And it's got really small little baby feet now, but it doesn't look like it's using its feet. They're not very muscular. They're borderline disabled at the feet. So what they have this big
These
old
are some
tail.
pretty chunky grippers here. I mean,
Those are not grippers. Those are
You see,
floppers. They don't
Sent-
grip. They
excuse me,
flop.
Excuse me, Sentry. Let me just get a little seat. You see this? If I give it a little squeeze,
What are you doing?
Those are-
Please stop squeezing
are-
its foot.
that's all muscle right there.
I don't. Okay.
Well,
it
you
doesn't
see,
look
that's
like
a
it's
problem
enjoying that.
because you also need bone.
I guess you're right, Professor.
Okay,
Well,
so
okay.
it's basically propping itself on its big old, striped tail.
Fluffy tail. All right, let's get one thing straight. It can use its feet. It's not restricted to staying on its tail. The reason it's using its tail right now is because it's a little bit nervous. It's in a new place, and true to its name, it's scouting out the area. It's getting a little bit more height by sitting up on its tail and scanning the area.
Ah, yes, the Scout
Yes,
Pokémon. Some would say.
You can see it's looking around. All right, so that was a pretty good description.
I would
Corbin-
keep my eyes on Corbin too if I was in a new room with him.
Okay, well,
Do I get a gold star?
Nope.
no gold star for that. You sure?
Yeah, no. Corbin is 3 gold stars in the negative at the moment.
That is true. He hasn't paid back his gold star debt.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
keeping the few that I have earned.
You
All
have.
right.
Oh, okay. Whoa. You've earned what? How many? 2? Is that?
Two.
I think we're getting reports back that you've earned a couple.
I think I've earned 2. I know I earned one during the Scyther lesson.
All right, so that means that he's in debt only 1.
Okay. Well, I'll work up to it.
But he's still in debt. 1.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he'll get there. Okay. Do we have a name for this Sentret? Corbin, you've been on fire recently with naming these Pokemon.
It just honestly, the Sentret speaks to me. It just looks like a Jessie. There's no other way around it. There's no pun. There's no joke. There's nothing here about it. It just looks like a Jessie. And that also happens to be one of our Patreon supporters. So I mean, it's just it makes perfect sense.
All right. So Jesse, how do you feel about that name?
See?
Okay.
Likes
it's starting to ease off on its tail. It's kind of like sitting down a little bit. I think it's getting comfortable.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, then now is a perfect time to put it right back into the Pokeball and continue on with this lesson.
Bye,
Bye,
Jesse.
Jesse.
Next time, Jesse. Bye, Jesse.
All right. It is time to read some Pokedex entries. And guys, there's not a lot here. So,
No?
Yeah, I noticed that when Jesse was out.
no, of Pokedex entries.
Well, yeah, there's not a lot to say about it.
Wow. Don't say that about
Wow,
Jesse.
There's a lot to
Jesse-
say about every Pokemon.
Jesse is cute,
Boo,
but like,
boo, Corbin. All right, you
I'm
owe us
just
another
saying,
gold star.
listen, normal type are historically not that exciting. Let's be real.
I don't think that's true. I think normal type Pokemon have a lot of potential. is the
Variety to
word
bring
here.
to the table.
Look, like what, Professor?
What do you mean, like what?
A lot of variety in the normal types to bring to the table.
Exactly.
Mhm. Think about Eevee. So many different ways, and Ditto. So many different ways that can go.
And like, let's not like overlook the variety of different moves that normal type Pokemon can learn. Corbin's being very quiet. I think he's put in
Yeah.
this place.
Oh, excuse me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just thinking about Zinc. Sorry.
Great. He's even distracted by Zinc when he's not even in the classroom.
That's right.
Sorry.
We could never bring Zinc back to the class just for that reason.
We'd get nothing done. All right.
That's right.
So, the first Pokedex entry, of course, comes to us from the Johto region. It says, a very cautious Pokemon. It raises itself up using its tail to get a better view of its surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Scouting
you gotta
out.
raise yourself up. You know, not nobody's gonna do it for you. Sometimes you gotta raise yourself up.
That's right.
That's right. That's what I've been telling myself every morning when I wake up.
Gotta raise yourself right, Corbin.
That's right. I don't have a parent here. It's just me. Mom's at home, so I got to raise
Well, the
myself right.
professor's really like our classroom dad.
And I am your legal guardian.
That doesn't make you my papa, though.
No, I could never replace.
No,
Mr.
we could
Mime.
never replace Mr. Mime.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Moving on, the next entry says, it stands on its tail so it can see a long way. If it spots an enemy, it cries loudly to warn its kind.
Like that?
What on earth? I'm sorry, my
Whoa.
ears phased out a little bit. I didn't.
Can I get a second take on that, please?
I said
I would
the
rather
Sentret-
not, actually.
The Sentret. Okay.
All right, do it one more time.
So the Sentret is basically sitting there going, like that.
Yeah. You know
Yeah,
what?
sure.
Exactly. So, okay. So what does this tell you about how Sentrets live?
Well, definitely mindful of their surroundings. Always keeping a sharp eye out. And, that's very good. You want to be intentional. You don't want to just be a caterpie on a bush. You want to be in a Sentret on the
Or
stand.
a metapod on a tree?
Right.
Or a Kakuna on a different tree?
They sound like me. They like to cry a lot.
Oh, well, that's true. You are a little whiny baby boy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, but that wasn't what I was trying to get at here. So if it spots an enemy, it cries loudly to warn its kind.
Warn the others.
So, do they live separately? Do they live in
Total
groups?
isolation.
They are a communal
Totally isolationist.
species.
All right. Well, you're wrong, Mr. Curtis.
Yeah, they're communal.
No.
Gold star for me.
Yes, they live in groups.
That was just a joke.
Gold star.
Wow, it was so funny. I didn't get it. That's how you know it's a funny
Gold
joke.
star for me, please. Thank you.
I'm tempted to give him a gold star, Mr. Curtis. See, he got it right, and you got it wrong.
See, you can supersede him.
I mean, is it? Wait, hold on. Are we just giving out gold stars for right answers all the time now? That can't be right.
You're just giving him out for stupid reasons.
That would
Like
Gold.
drastically inflate the gold star market, and we can't do that.
That's right.
we
Gold
can't
stars are for
ruin-
gold star performances. I mean,
Yeah,
have to
and
be above
and
beyond.
getting an answer right is just the expected performance, Corbin.
Right.
So you gotta go above and beyond.
Okay.
All right. The next entry says, when acting as lookout, it warns others of danger by screeching and hitting the ground with its tail.
That's funny to picture.
Thump the ground. Da-dunk, da-dunk.
Yeah, it is hilarious to think of a distressed Sentret. Very, very funny, Corbin.
Well, it's just screaming and slamming its face on the ground. I mean,
No,
again,
it's tail.
No,
It's
I-
tail.
That was me when I first moved here. I was in a new area and I was scared and I screamed and slammed my face into the ground. That was when I met my roommate. That was the first impression I made of him.
What's your roommate's name again?
Gordon.
Gordon. And they're a human, right?
They are human. Yes.
Okay, you
Gordon
sure
is
about that? Are
very
you sure it's
real.
not another Mr. Mime?
Nope, I'm sure. Gordon
Man,
is definitely human.
It'd be pretty funny if it was a Mr. Mime.
It's not
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, it's not
It's
Mr.
your
Mime.
dad. Your dad wearing some glasses. He couldn't leave you alone.
Nope.
Yeah, he's got like a hat on.
A hat on and some
No,
glasses.
Gordon is a human. No, he is very much a human.
Can you describe Gordon to us?
So Gordon has dyed blue, really curly hair.
Sure.
Very stout. Very,
very
very stout. But not jiggly, but his belly is hard, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
And
Talk to me
but
about those grippers.
he's got some pretty big hands, bigger than mine, some would say. He's got pretty big hands, but weirdly small feet. So I mean, yeah, it just looks like a
Would you say he's about like 4 feet tall, 4'3"
I
maybe?
mean, he's maybe 4 feet tall, 3 inches tall, like 4'3", something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tell me
Okay.
about
he is-
those cheeks. Are they rosy?
He's really, well, they're not rosy, but actually, I forgot to mention he does have a little bit of a mustache. It's not very well, developed.
Yeah,
But he has a
almost like it's
mustache.
almost like it's drawn on, maybe.
Got a little bit, and it's weird. I think he has a problem with walking because his feet aren't very big, but he's really rotund. He has a cane, and it's like a little weird blue cane, and I'm like, okay, I'm not really sure why you're using that.
Okay.
Right.
This is interesting.
Yeah. But his dark bluish hair is like it's borderline purple, like it's like almost purple. But yeah, he's cool. Yeah. He introduced himself as Gordon Rhyme, and I was like, okay, sure. And he's like, you can just call me Mr. Rhyme, and I said, okay.
Is he into tap dancing?
Yeah. Did I tell you that already?
Okay, we can't get distracted with this. We need to talk about Sentret.
Oh no,
but-
you guys are not understanding me. He's not a Mr. Rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy that looks just like a Mr. Rhyme.
Are you sure? Okay. All right.
Wow,
Yeah,
and
no,
I'm
he's-
a guy that looks just like a Pokemon professor.
Whoa!
That's weird.
No, he's actually a human. He's a huge fan of Mr. Rhymes. He got his legal last name changed to Rhyme. So yeah. No, sorry there was a confusion there. My bad.
Okay. All right. Well.
Sure, we believe you. Moving on, the next Pokedex entry comes to us from the Hoenn region. It says, when Sentret sleeps, it does so while another stands guard. The sentry wakes the others at the first sign of danger. When this Pokemon becomes separated from its pack, it becomes incapable of sleep due to fear.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. So, in fact, they have to live in a pack or else they'll, die of exhaustion, I suppose, since they can't go to sleep.
So you still holding to that belief that it's individual, Mr. Curtis?
Yeah, Mr. Curtis.
Idiot.
No, I was.
Whoa.
That was just a joke. That was just a joke.
So funny.
It was kind of funny.
Thank you, Professor.
Funny how bad it was.
All right, so that does it for the Hoenn region. Only one Pokedex entry there. Moving on to the Sinnoh region, it says, it has a very nervous nature. It stands up high on its tail so it can scan wide areas. All right,
Makes
I think
sense.
this is all things that we kind of knew already. Like, that's the thing. I think I said this before, but Sinnoh, they really they have very short entries, and they just, like, reconfirm things we've already heard, so.
Come on, Sinnoh. You gotta step it
But
up.
they always got something new. Speaking of having something new, Unova does not have anything new.
Oh.
You got me excited for a second.
Yeah, I was sorry. That was a bit of a leading segue there. They just have the exact same thing as Sinnoh, as always. Kalos just copies other regions as well. Alola has nothing. Galar has nothing. Paldea actually does have a couple of entries, so let's go ahead and look at this. I know, right? This is very rare that we get Pokedex entries from Paldea, and these are, like, unique too. So they say this Pokemon is extremely cautious. Its supple tail is well muscled and firm to the touch.
Yeah, pretty. That makes sense if they're up on their tail all the time.
I mean, yeah, they gotta be using it all the time, so it's gonna be muscular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I imagine, because it's kind of like an endurance thing, right? Like, I mean, I don't know how long Sentret sleep. I mean, why would that be included in the Pokedexes? But, I mean,
Right.
I imagine at least, maybe 4 hours, maybe just a couple of hours they have to, like, be on their tail looking around. So, yeah, it would have to be firm and muscular. Yeah, so, and I imagine you wouldn't want to get hit by it. So, those tail whips, maybe not just for lowering defense, all right?
That's right.
Right.
For shattering your defenses. Am I
Yeah,
right?
and by defenses we mean your bones. All right, the next entry from the Paldea region says, if it encounters a foe, it will stand up on its tail, making itself look bigger than usual to intimidate them. Ahaha.
Ooh.
So that's another use for the tail. So not only for lookout, but also for scanning or for intimidation. And I think its arms also really help in making it look bigger. Because
I don't know.
Sure,
It
they're
looks
kind
to
of-
me like it wants to hug.
well, to us. Oh, huggability. Hug. This is very. Thanks for bringing this up, Corin. Where are we on the huggability scale here?
3 to 14, right?
Yeah, I believe it's 3 to 14 or 4 to 13. I can never remember.
Magmar to Spinarak, just as a frame of reference.
I'll say maybe a 10.
Okay. All right.
It's
That's-
fluffy, it's soft, it's very kind. I can wrap my arms around it, but the bottom part, the bad part is that it cannot wrap its arms around me, which is half of a hug. So that's a problem.
Yes, wrapping its arms around you is half a hug.
As somebody who hasn't gotten enough arms around him, and usually is the one putting his arms around others, it gets a little lonely sometimes. So I need somebody to hug me back.
That's fair. Mr. Curtis, where are you?
I'll give it a 9. I don't think you're in necessarily any danger by going to hug a Sentret. They seem
Certainly
pretty fluffy, and generally non-aggressive. More avoiding things than confronting them. So I think and those big droopy arms, they I bet you they would be good for wrapping you up in a big old hug. But they don't have the hard external carapace that really gives you the grip to hold on and really give a good hug. So because it's lacking, and the external carapace of a bug type, I can't give it above a 10.
I've thrown up in my mouth now.
So I can't give it above a 10.
Sorry, hold on. I'm getting a report from Corbin. Yep. Coming in loud.
Acid reflux.
Yes, he has thrown up in his mouth.
I have. Disgusting.
That's our word from Corbin.
Just keep it in there. Keep it in. That's all.
Yeah, just swallow it. Be a man. Swallow it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 12.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a 12. Because I agree, it can't really hug you back that well, but also it's kind of like the perfect size for you to wrap your arms around, and its tail could get a little bit of hugging in there. Because remember, it's a muscular tail.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So 12. I think this is a very.
I'll buy the 12. That's fair. I didn't think about that. 12.
Thank
but
you.
then
All
if you. Okay. Yeah. 12. Yeah. 12.
Okay. To give in a little bit to the peer pressure in the room, I will bump it up to a 10, but no more than
peer
a 10.
Pressure.
Not without a carapace. I'm sorry. You can't have above a 10.
Yeah, that's fair. To you, I guess, for your kind of character, I suppose. Anyways, as I was saying beforehand, I think the width of their arms helps them appear larger than they really are when they're trying to do that intimidation tactic. Okay, all right. I just want to get that out there. That does it for the regional Pokedex entries. There's nothing from the Professor Mirror in the Lentil region. So we're going.
What about Professor Gandolfini?
You mean Professor Neroli?
Yeah.
Professor who?
Professor Stromboli.
Stromboli, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
No, Professor Neroli, who does sleep
professor.
research. There's nothing from Professor Neroli either. And I think I've been including Neroli in the unique Pokedex entries because he doesn't seem to be tied to a specific region. But yeah, there's nothing from him either. But I do have a couple of unique Pokedex entries here. The first one comes to us from Ash's Pokedex. It says, Sentret, the Scout Pokemon. Sentret is able to see great distances by rising up on its tail. When it spots an enemy or any kind of danger, it emits a loud, shrill cry as a warning.
Ooh!
Okay, no, not like that.
Oh, okay.
We're like,
like that?
Kind of
like
thing.
An old witch laughing?
Yeah, like an old witch or a young witch. It doesn't have to be old.
Yeah. I mean, young witches aren't creepy.
But I think it's more of something that the Sentret's ears are attuned to.
Right, probably like a certain frequency. Yeah,
frequency that they can hear very well.
Like how Dawn is locked into the frequency that's my heart.
Okay, moving on from that. So the next entry comes to us from Go's Rotom Phone. It says, Sentret, the Scout Pokemon, a normal type. Sentret can lift itself up on its tail so it can see things far away.
All right.
Yep. All right. And that does it for all of the Pokedex entries on Sentret.
That's it. That's the end.
That's it. And I feel like there's so many things that were left unmentioned, which is why for today's testing portion,
we're gonna do a pop quiz.
No,
Yeah,
even better than a pop quiz, Mr. Curtis.
What?
We're gonna do a essay question.
But you sure we can't do a pop quiz?
Yes,
I'm sure.
All right. So an essay question here. I ask you something that wasn't necessarily covered in the Pokedex entries, but I want you guys to kind of use what you've learned about the Pokemon and
to
try
uncover it.
Yeah, to cover it. And just come up with your best guess. There's no wrong answers here. This is more about the process than it is about being wrong or right. All right, so
that's right.
The essay question is: Sentret has very obvious ring patterns on its stomach and tail. What are the purposes of these prominent patterns? All right, so take your time, students. Write down the best thing you can come up with. And I guess try to include a little bit of what we've learned so far the best you can.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Mr. Curtis is mumbling to himself, and Corbin is staring off
Oh
into
yeah,
the wall
essay.
with
All right,
his
here we go.
eyes.
Here we go.
Corbin. Hey, pay attention.
I'm doing it.
His eyes are unfocused. He is
doing it. No, I'm
drooling
ready.
a little bit.
No, I'm good. I'm back.
Okay, all right. Take your time. Okay, so it looks like everybody is done with their essays. Who would like to go first? I'd like to see hands raised. Okay,
Mr. Curtis, do you want to go first today?
Nobody's raising their hands.
Mr. Curtis, did you want to go?
We're here.
Too bad. I want to go.
I guess I'll have to let Corbin go. All right, go for it, Corbin. You got. If you want to go, Mr. Curtis, you got to be quicker.
Yeah, be quicker.
I did. I put my hand up, Professor.
So with Sentret and the ring patterns on the stomach and tail, the purpose of them is, I think they are the stretchy and muscly bits. I don't think the entire Sentret is just raw muscle. I think the parts that are highlighted in that cream color, that lighter color, are the really very muscly / stretchy bits. It's a stretchy kind of muscle. Let me explain.
Please.
Okay, so number one, it helps kind of extend the tail when searching and knowing, and we know the tail is raw muscle, right? So what that does is the stretchy muscle, it makes it hard so that it can stand up for a long period of time. But the stretchiness part allows it to just increase. Like, it's not like if the tail is 2 feet long, it's not just sitting up 2 feet. It's going to extend closer to maybe 3 or 4 feet or 5 feet because it's going to stretch itself almost like a slinky a little bit. It's kind of like a slinky, but it's segmented. The whole thing is not the stretchy muscle. It's just the white parts of it, right? Now, when the ring is to help stretch its body so that when it gets bigger to intimidate. We know that it does get bigger when it stands up, when it's trying to appear bigger and more imposing to intimidate. But on top of that, not only is it taller because of its stretchy muscular tail, it's also stretching its body. It's not like inflating itself like a Jigglypuff. It's simply stretching itself to appear bigger, if that makes sense. So it's like a big, brown little kite, So having it be a mixture of stretchy muscle and non-muscle also helps it kind of curl and bend a little bit. If it was all just stretchy muscle, I feel like it just wouldn't work, man. You got to have some soft bits in there so it can kind of curl its tail. Kind of like joints in humans. It's kind of like that. You have the soft parts that kind of bend around the muscle, and it gives it some softness, hardness, balance, which makes it really good for cuddles and stuff, because nobody wants to cuddle somebody who's super muscular. Sorry to all the bodybuilders out there, but I'm sure a lot of them listen to this.
So it is muscle, or it's the stuff surrounding the muscle. Sorry, it kind of sounds like you changed in the middle.
What do you mean?
Which is it? What are the rings? Are they the muscle?
The rings are the stretchy muscle.
Okay.
It's muscly and it's stretchy.
Are you falling asleep in class right now?
No.
So why then? Why? Okay, so maybe they represent where the muscle is stretchy.
Condensed, yes.
Why the different coloration?
That's a good question.
Okay. I'm glad we agree.
Oh, want to answer it?
Yeah, I'd like you to take a stab, Corbin. I'd like you to defend your thesis, your hypothesis.
Come back to me later. I'll think about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I will come back to you later. Don't think I won't. While we're waiting, Mr. Curtis, what have you prepared for us?
Yes, present.
Why?
Here.
What do you think is the purpose for the ring patterns on the Sentret?
Of course. All right. Well, standing on your tail to look out has a pretty obvious disadvantage. Say it with me. That is you are higher up to see your enemies, but you're more likely to be seen. Yes, that's correct. Thank you.
How would I have known to have said that?
You seem to be following him pretty well.
I mean, it's a pretty obvious disadvantage. I mean, when you're up there, they can see you. So in response to that, I think Sentret has developed a lot of their darker swirly patterns to help break up the outline of their bodies. That makes them less likely to be seen by their predators at a distance. Now, I know what you're saying. That being said, as soon as they see an enemy, they scream and thump their tail to alert their friends, which would counteract the point of trying to be sneaky, because that would just immediately give their position away.
Camouflage is the word I think you're looking for.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like camouflage, so to speak. But at that point, then the white circle on the belly kicks in. Because, of course, they do stand up to intimidate their foes sometimes. And the white ring would, of course, draw the attention to their big bellies and how big they are, like a sumo wrestler up high, and not necessarily on the fact that they're sitting on a tail or, really skinny, tiny tail going up. But it's like, look at this big belly of mine. See, I'm a big, intimidating Sentret. Come fight me. So yeah.
Wait, do you think the ring on their stomach is to make them look bigger?
So the dark colors are to help break up the patterns, but then
Yes.
the white ring is to draw their attention to the big belly and draw attention away from the fact that they're, the reason why they're so tall is because they're standing on their tail, not because they're actually tall or, any other part of their body.
So for partial camouflage and for additional intimidation, additional intimidation, I think works.
Yeah, I think that works. Professor, whatever you say.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Back to Corbin.
All right.
Well, what are we thinking? What's up with the different coloration? Why are they different colors?
Well, if it were simply monochromatic, if it was the same color, it wouldn't have that same visual effect of looking bigger. It is a more, when you have stripes like that, you have the different like lighter stripes and the darker ones, there's a visual indication that it's getting bigger, because if you're like a predator coming after it and you see this thing physically getting bigger in front of you, that darker and lighter color scheme is going to make it appear more to even the most, infantile Pokemon. Lame brain dumb Pokemon are going to see, longer horizontal looks bigger. You know what I mean? Like horizontal lines. They say makes you look fat in fashion. Well, it's kind of like that. It's getting bigger, and those horizontal lines across it will make it look even bigger. It is it's a visual thing. You know what I mean? It's like
so they represent where the muscles are, and they make the Pokemon look bigger. Is what you're saying?
They are stretchy, and they help make it look even bigger.
All right. You know what? Fair enough. I will take this answer. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys both full marks for this. I think these essay questions, we don't do these very much anymore, but we should do them more often. I do like these.
I like the essay questions.
Definitely helps you think outside the box, because a lot of the stuff that we do kind of focuses on what we've learned, whereas the essay question kind of like has you do more of the role of a scientist, which is to think.
That's right.
Which I know is Corbin's favorite thing to do.
I love it.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's lesson on Sentret. Does anybody know who we're going to be talking about next week?
Well, of course, that would be Decidueye.
Very
Zangoose.
good. Wrong. It's not Zangoose, and it's not Decidueye. And I'm just going to go ahead and say we are learning about Furret next week, which is the evolved form of Sentret.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor.
Still got those rings, and it's got like cute little whisker things on it. So be looking forward to talking about that. Before I go, I just want to say if you have any questions for me, you can. There's numerous ways to contact us.
Lots.
There's Gengar Mail, there's Twitter, there's the Discord. So you can find links to all of those and more in our link tree, which is in the description below. If you really enjoy this class and want to help us out a little bit and maybe get a little bit more content on the way, you can join the Patreon.
So much good stuff.
Corbin, what's some of that good stuff?
We got outtakes and bloopers. We got Mr. Curtis's drawings.
Woo! And there's some juicy ones from this episode. Class lesson.
We got Q&A sessions. And we got coming soon, we're doing a Nuzlocke playthrough on our Patreon. So we got stuff coming. There's plenty of content on Patreon, and it is worth it.
And I just want to say that
and you get a Pokemon named after you.
Oh, yes, of course. Can't forget that.
If you give enough money, of course.
Whoa, Mr. Curtis.
Yes, certain tiers get different things. That's all listed in the Patreon. But I want to say about the bloopers and outtakes and the Q&As, like, you don't just get access to the new ones that we post. You get access to all of them.
All of them.
To all of the ones that we've done, and it's starting to pile up.
That's right.
Because we do them once a month. So there's a lot of content on there already. All right. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's lesson. So until next time, class is dismissed.